one saying you never forget is, beware of the Hun in the sun, because if you're looking in sun, you can't see anything in terms of the German.
The scramble order always came by telephone, and you were jerked into life. Either you were lying on your bed or reading a book or something, and then suddenly you knew that you were going to be scrambled. You had to run 50 yards, 700 yards to your aeroplane. The fact that you were going to intercept the enemy didn't really mean very much. And it's only when you climbed up through cloud and you were at 15, 16, 17, 18,000 feet, you then looked around and said, where is the enemy, sort of thing. And then it became much more of a different scenario, sort of thing.
People killed, you know. People, the war was pretty rough at times. But again, you get, as I said earlier, I think one got used to the fact that you were having breakfast with somebody at 6 o'clock and you saw them being shot up at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or whatever. So, you know, there's no room for sentiment. If you're going to have a war, you've got to have a war, so get on with it and win it.
The Germans absolutely ran us into the ground, and we eventually finished up this wonderful squadron, 249's, acting as aircraft spotters on the top of buildings. We ran out of aeroplanes. And suddenly, when it became most likely that Malta would fall, they provided Spitfires at long last, mainly because the AOC, a chap called Hugh Pugh Lloyd, was a bomber chap and didn't understand fighters.
I knew there were times when the Focke-Wulf 190 was getting, and then they got ahead of us on jet jobs. But the Germans are no slouches, and I don't like the Germans, but I admire their efficiency. And I would always buy a German motor car if I had no particular wish for something else.
I remember as a very small man, or comparatively small, rather bumptious. And then he did things, and I think it was a Bristol Bulldog, and crashed, doing things he ought not to have done, and badly damaged himself. As a result, he lost both his legs.
To see anybody doing that standard of flying, precision flying, and you know, when he lost his legs, he just misjudged by about that much from the ground.
He very often put us in danger's way because we began to leading a group of aircraft, as we did. He led us as a formation guarding a number of Blenheims, our first invasion in the continent. And we were supposed to go across at 7,000 feet. We suddenly found ourselves going across at 5,000 feet, at 2,000 feet, and at 800 feet, and being shot at like mad from the ground, all because of Douglas Bader.
On an operation over Europe, and there was a beehive, what we call a beehive, which there was a lot of aeroplanes attacking each other like a beehive or a wasp or what have you. And you know, you were sweating because there was bullets flying around and parachutes in occasion. And then suddenly this calm voice over the air says, here, his radio going, this was this Wing Commander Bader, and he said, Douglas here, I quite forgot to book the squash court for 7 o'clock tonight. Would you mind doing it for me? And, you know, 80 or 60 or 20 or whatever, British fighter pilots would say, for Christ's sake, if all he's worrying about, why are we worrying about all these bloody Germans that are all over the place? You immediately felt calm. That's right. To hell with the Germans, we'll play squash at 7 o'clock tonight.